Hey everybody, welcome to Always Bored, Never Boring. The other day I posted a video to mention that an interesting thing had happened over on the Hasbro HasLab HeroQuest Twitter account. A new mod by the name of Zargon had taken over. My initial thought was, good. This suggests the project is advancing on schedule and backers can hopefully start receiving their games soon. And I said as much in my video. However, as the day progressed, Zargon started to post increasingly bizarre things. It was like, well, here are some examples. Zargon does not wish to extend his car's warranty. The next putrid mortal who calls me will be sentenced to 1,000 years in the very uncomfortable dungeon. Personal goals: prevent being thwarted all of the time. Conquer all known realms. Learn to roller skate. And probably my favourite, ignore this, or perish, or whatever. It was a little bit like my dad had got a job as a moderator for the account, and I admit, the longer it went on, the more I thought the account might have been hacked. In fact, I even contacted Hasbro to check. They told me the account was fine and Zargon was just having a bit of fun. Good. I'm glad someone was. Anyway, the random post continued until the 10th of June, when Zargon finally decided to throw us a bone and share some genuine content. We got one picture of some of the factory sample miniatures in the vacuum-formed box insert. Look, here it is. Now, because this is the only bone Hasbro has chucked at us for a little while, I'm going to gnaw on it like a hungry dog for a bit. First of all, this is interesting because it's the first time we've seen coloured samples. All the previous images had the miniatures in an off-white bone colour, but now we have something more akin to the original. It should be noted that the image says the final colours may vary, but I think this is a fair idea of what we can expect. The colours pretty much line up with the original HeroQuest, with heroes in red, greenskins in green, undead in white, and then dread, also known as chaos enemies, in grey. I think it's probably worth mentioning that the original intention was not to have coloured miniatures. Using the different coloured plastics was something that was announced during the campaign and seemed to be a direct response to backer feedback. I have to say, that was a smart move. If you aren't going to paint your miniatures, coloured plastic makes a game look a little nicer and makes it easier to tell models apart. Furthermore, the original HeroQuest had a rule associated with the colour of the miniatures where you could substitute miniatures of the same colour if you ran out of a particular enemy. I think it can only enhance the out-of-the-box appeal of the game to have the miniatures in colour, and I do appreciate the nod to the original aesthetic. Next, I think the casting looks decent here. We've obviously already seen some factory samples, and I said before that I thought they were of a reasonable standard, although the features on the skeleton were a bit soft. These look nice from what we can see here, and the dwarf in particular looks much the same as the pre-painted sample they were sending out during the campaign. I can't see any obviously bending weapons, and the detail looks crisp enough. We can also see some of the dice in this image. We've seen factory samples before, and I thought they looked fine, although a number of people were concerned the corners could be more rounded. The skull symbols look nice and clear, which is obviously a good thing. They aren't going to be wood like the original game, but it does look like they're going to be slightly bigger, although it's hard to tell in the image. I guess the final thing to mention is the insert. I suspect this is what most people were expecting, and I doubt the final product will be any different. It's the standard flimsy insert Hasbro uses for a lot of things. Stuff like Magic the Gathering Arena of the Planeswalkers springs to mind, although at least we don't have to worry about having windowed areas on the box lids this time. I have a few issues with these sorts of inserts. First of all, they are obviously prone to splitting. Second, the spaces are cut for specific miniatures, which can be a nuisance when you're packing the game away. Finally, they often hold the miniatures very tightly, which means they can damage your paintwork. I can certainly see a lot of people throwing out the inserts and finding an alternative storage solution for the miniatures. But at least the miniatures should arrive undamaged in the first instance. Overall, I have to say it's good to see pictures like this. We can see miniatures, dice, the boards, and the insert all together for the first time. I don't see any nasty surprises. If I was going to put money on what the final product looked like, I would have bet on something pretty much like this in terms of the quality and presentation. I think this is probably promising in terms of the schedule for the project, as everything seems to be chugging along nicely. And while it would certainly be good to see more than we are seeing here, at least we've seen something. I don't know if I'll do one of these videos every time Zargon posts something interesting, but I will certainly be doing roundups, and I will share any really interesting information they decide to share. Hopefully, we will get some really meaty updates in the near future. But I guess that's it from me for now. Thank you so much for listening. If you've enjoyed this video, please consider pressing the like button. If you really enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing if you don't already do so. And hopefully, I'll see you all again very soon. Bye bye everyone. Bye bye.